Welcome everybody to Social Media Best Practices for Group Fitness Instructors. My name is Chris Freitag. I am an ACE certified personal trainer, group fitness instructor, and health coach. I'm also the founder of www.gethealthyu.com. And I'm really excited to share with you all what I know about social media. I do use social media to run my website and to also connect with my members and clients. So I'm really excited to share everything that I know with all of you. So let's get right into it. Getting started in social media, no matter what platform you are using, there are a couple of things that you want to think about. First of all, establishing your brand. And a lot of people, especially when I talk to other group fitness instructors, will say, well, I don't necessarily have a brand. But quite frankly, in today's world, everybody has a brand. What you wear, what you say, what you carry in your hands, the way you act, that is your personal brand. And you actually have both a personal brand and a business brand. And often they do intertwine. Your personality will absolutely show through in your business brand, but it's really important to have some synergy between the two. And it's also important for you to be aware of it and decide what kind of a brand you want to portray out there to the world. And even if you are working at a club, if you're not having your own business or you're not running your own fitness facility or something like that, you still have your own brand, even within another company, if that makes sense. So think about it. Second, find your target audience. You can't please everybody. So who are you trying to target? Find that, I like to call it your tribe, the people that you're interested in and the people who would be interested in what you have to offer. In terms of group fitness, if you are specializing, for instance, in Zumba, you're going to attract a certain audience different than perhaps seniors or athletes or whatever it might be. So think about who you're trying to lead, who you're trying to connect with. You can't make everybody happy. So go with your strengths and pay attention to that. Establish your voice. What you say online, what you say in your classes, what you say in your sessions, again, becomes a part of your brand. It's all kind of intertwined, but establish what you want to be known for, what you want people to think about you. There's all different types of group fitness instructors. That's what makes us each unique. That's what attracts people to you for your individuality. So think about it. And if you are teaching, for instance, at multiple locations as a group fitness instructor, this might be a great place, social media, for you to bring it all together and let everybody from all the different places know your brand, know who you are, hear your voice, etc. And then learn the social media commandments. I have a list of commandments of what I say makes you successful on social media and also makes keeps it interesting yet respectful. So let's move on to that. So a few things that I always think matter on all platforms. Number one, be authentic. I think that's so important. People can spot a phony, they can spot a fake from a mile away. You want to be authentic. Let your personality show through in everything you do. That's why people come to love you. That's why people come to your class. And that's what I always say is I have a lot of other group and fitness instructors that I love. I love going to their classes. I love their personality, their brand, who they are. And I think that's, special. So be in tune with that. Be mindful. Be mindful when you are creating content on social media, when you're sharing it about, again, who are you trying to attract? It all goes back to your tribe. What are you trying to say? You need to create content that your audience wants, but you have to be strategic about it. So think about it. Before you post it, think, who am I attracting? Is this offensive or is this okay? And what's my purpose? Third, be useful. So people are so inundated with information every day now that they are looking for that value-added information. They're not just looking for, and everybody loves a silly post here and there, but they're looking to find out information, ways to live their lives better in some way. So perhaps you're going to teach them something on your social media. Perhaps you're going to give them some bit of information that they don't know, or a tip, some sort of a fitness tip. It's also a great place to let your followers know where, if you do teach at multiple places, where you're teaching, what classes you're offering, on what days. So that's social media can help you do that. So value added, be useful. Next one, be responsive. Social media is all about responsiveness. So if you are going to use social media, be ready to interact. You can't just post something and walk away and expect, people to continue to follow you. It's all about engagement. Engagement is the key word. So if you're going to post something and someone's going to comment on it, you might want to comment back if it warrants a comment. You might want to like the comment. You might want to answer a question. You really don't want to leave any question unanswered. If someone's there to ask you a question, get back to them. That's what it's all about, interaction and engagement. And last, I like to say, be grateful. Your readers and your followers and your people who come to your classes, they are your brand advocates. They are the people out there saying, go and check out this person's class, or, get on their social media and see what they're sharing. So you want to always be thanking them and, for sharing and engaging with your content. You want to build trust overall. That's what you want to do. You want to build trust in your tribe or your group of people. So authenticity, being mindful, being useful, giving value-added content, being responsive to what they're asking you, and then, of course, being grateful for their engagement with you. All right, let's move on. So a couple good reasons why you should separate your personal social media from your business social media. A lot of people, when they're getting started, say, well, it's too much work to have a social profile and a business profile. And I'm using Facebook as an example here because that's the one platform that really makes it easy to delineate between the two. And I'm going to tell you that I think no matter if your tribe is 3 people or 3,000 people, separating your personal life from your business life really helps, especially on social media. And not only, and I'll tell you my personal story, I like to use my personal social media, namely Facebook, for my family and my friends and my kids, and posting pictures of things that I find interesting for my tribe of personal friends, but not necessarily my business friends. They don't necessarily need to see my kids doing every event or my Christmas family picture. Those I like to kind of keep private. But from a business standpoint, certain things I share on business, I wouldn't necessarily share with personal. So that's why I keep them separate. But I was going to lead to tell you that business page on Facebook and in some of the other platforms offer you lots of different perks and options above and beyond the personal profile. So using Facebook as an example, you have to set up your personal profile first, and then you can create a business page. You can create several business pages if you want, but that one business page is going to have lots of different options. If you look at the bottom of the slide, you have an area for notifications, which is normal, but you have an area called Insights. In the Insights, when you click on that, you can find out lots about your audience. You can find out, for instance, who is your audience, the reach, where do they live, what ages are they? You can find out page views on each individual post that you put up. You can find out those stats of how many people viewed it. You can see daily activity of who's liking your page or who isn't. If you do decide to pay for any advertisement for your business, you have to do it through a business platform. You can't use a personal profile. So all of those are reasons to establish a business page. And if you look at that word publishing tools, you can pre-schedule posts on Facebook and the other platforms. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, which will save you time, because what a lot of people say to me is, wow, I just don't have time to manage social media. But if you pre-schedule a lot of posts, perhaps about your upcoming classes, upcoming events, programs that you're running, or if you have little tips and tricks that you could just post that aren't timely, you can pre-schedule them and not have to worry about it on a daily basis. So in all the platforms, you want to have synergy between your usernames or your handles. And if you can see what ACE has done here, on Facebook, obviously www.facebook.com/AceFitness. You go to Twitter @AceFitness. You go to YouTube /AceFitness. You go to Instagram, AceFitness. You go to Pinterest, AceFitness. You see the pattern there. I'll sometimes see people use things like a business name, then a personal name, and then they're changing or something cute that no one would ever find you. So if you are trying to establish a business, you want to have some synergy between all the handles. Use your real estate wisely. This is your spot on social media where you can talk about who you are, who is your brand. So use photos that are engaging and that talk about your business. You can see what ACE did. The top left is YouTube. You can see the bottom left is Facebook, talking a little bit about who they are. You obviously know that they're fitness related. If you look in the top right, that is Pinterest. Again, you see the ACE logo, and then you look in the bottom right, that is Instagram, all using the same logo, all using the same color. So you want to make sure that you have some synergy between all of your cover photos or your real estate areas. Consistency among the social media platforms. So we were just talking about multiple platforms. On each platform, you get to tell a little story about yourself, about your brand. Use that wisely. Many of the platforms will keep you to a certain number of characters, and each platform is different, and things do change. But you want to use those characters wisely. Again, sometimes it's fun to do something cutesy. I'm a coffee-loving, dog-walking, group fitness instructor. I mean, sometimes that is fitting if that is your brand. But often you want to give them a little more information about you, who you're certified through. Where do you teach? How many years have you been in the business? What do you stand for? Who's your, who are you, what kind of classes do you teach? Just make sure when you fill out that area about yourself that you're telling them everything that you want them to know in order to get them to connect with you. So you can see that there's different places on each social media platform, and keep them consistent so that they, again, get to know your brand through and through each platform. And then the next thing is to be consistent with your voice and what you talk about on each platform. Now, I should back up a little bit and say you're not going to be able to use every social media platform without going crazy. A lot of people will say to me, I don't know, I can't seem to manage 5 platforms. You absolutely don't have to. You should probably go, again, back to finding your perfect client, your tribe, the people you're trying to attract. Where do they hang out? If they don't hang out on Pinterest, then you don't need to go to Pinterest. If they don't hang out on Twitter, then you don't need Twitter. I have personally found, because I run a website, that Facebook and Pinterest are by far my 2 best platforms that I spend the most time pre-scheduling things on, because that's where my tribe hangs out. But it depends on who you're attracting and where they are. That being said, keep your voice consistent. So you can see ACE. I just clipped some Facebook and I'm sorry, these are all Twitter. So you can see you're going to get used to what ACE is going to talk about. They're going to talk about, they've launched a new weight management specialty certification, or they're going to talk about articles that they've just published, or they're going to talk about certain exercises. They're going to add links, so they're linking to show you perhaps videos or photos. You can see on the right side of this slide that whenever they use photos, the photos are fairly consistent in terms of color, in terms of the words that are printed on top. And I'm going to show you how to add words to a photo in just a minute. So again, it's okay to use humor. Maybe you are going to post a few humorous things. Maybe that's part of your brand. But again, just be consistent with your voice and what you're talking about from each platform. That being said, make sure your posts are the right length. In today's world, with everyone being so busy, people do not like to read novels on social media. So they want it short, to the point. Always try to reread what you write, first of all, to check for typos, but secondly, to say, did I get to the point right away so that people know what I'm talking about from the beginning of my post? You can see these are 2 posts from Facebook. They use consistent imagery. They used about the same number of characters. I would say this many or less. You want to keep it really simple. And these are links, so they're connected to a link. I would also use photos wherever you can, and I'm going to get into that in just a moment here. Let's go to the next slide. Images. Okay, images are powerful. In today's world, we love to look at photos. So you can see here that ACE uses tasteful fitness photos, people in action, positive quotes, and things that make you feel good about fitness. That's their brand. So what is your brand? What do you want to talk about? When it comes to photos, though, there are some rules, and I want to make sure that you're aware of them. You can use stock photography. That's where you purchase a photo for a one-time use or a continual use, and they're fairly inexpensive by the photo, but it can add up over time. So you just can't take a photo off the internet and call it your own. You need to either purchase a stock photo, or if you have your own photos of yourself or your clients or your peeps who come to your classes, you can use those too, as long as you've gotten permission from everybody to use those photos. So just think about it. Photos are not just free on the internet. You can't just take them from anywhere. All right, let's move on. Content sharing is the cornerstone of all social media. It is all about engagement. It is all about sharing. So I think it goes without saying, but I'll just say it anyway. Don't steal content, share it. If you like something, it's about giving the love back to whoever's the owner of that original content. So again, sharing is the cornerstone. You can see when you share on Facebook, you can just see right next to it. You could like something, you could comment on something, but if you're really moved, if you really thought it was value added, you're going to share it with your peeps and say, look at this good information. On Twitter, if you see something that you really like, you could just heart it, you like it, but you could retweet it. That's what the double arrows are in the center, and you could send it out to your people to say, hey, I really like this information. On Pinterest, you can love it, that little heart, or you can repin it, which is another way of sharing. On Instagram, you don't want to just steal someone's photo, screenshot it, and then post it yourself. You want to regram it. And there are several different apps on your smartphone that pull in Instagram feeds and help you regram. So you're giving credit to the original owner. So the key is to always give credit to whoever's content that is. I am always so thankful when people share my content, and I share other people's content all the time. But I have seen on occasion where people have taken my photos and cut my name off the bottom. And that's really a big no-no. So make sure you're aware of that. The other thing I should mention is hashtags. Hashtags are a sorting device. So if you want to sort by the name of your business or by the name of the club that you're teaching at, you can hashtag at it on the back end. And then in all social media platforms, you can sort by that hashtag to find all posts that relate to that hashtag, as long as they have also added the hashtag. All right, quickly, we'll just go through some other things, tools to enhance your social media. So I was telling you that you can pre-schedule, so you don't have to spend your whole day thinking, uh-oh, I better check Facebook, or uh-oh, I better check Instagram. You can pre-schedule things that make sense. Every so often, of course, stuff that happens on the go, you might want to post as it's happening. But there are tools that pre-schedule everything. If you see in the top left there, that is an area where you can, on a business page in Facebook, publish a post and schedule it for the time of day and the day that you want it to go. If you look over to the right side of this, OnlyPolt is a program that I've been using for Instagram. It's a way to pre-schedule on Instagram. Viral Tag, I personally have been using for Pinterest, but you can also schedule on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, all through Viral Tag. Hootsuite, you can do Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google+. And Buffer app, I believe, is Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and Google+. So all of these tools will enhance your ability to not have to look at social media all day, but actually be able to pre-schedule some posts. And then PicMonkey on the bottom left. I mentioned that one because that is a program that is free. You can pay for an upgraded version, but the free version is amazing. And that is a place where you can add words to pictures. So if you have a photo, perhaps of your club or of yourself or of your people, and your people gave you permission to post their photo, you could add words over the top about a class, maybe the date or the time of the class, or you could add something about an upcoming event, and you can enhance the photo in any way. You can add text, you can add color, you can make posters if you have a sale coming up of some sort or a special event. So PicMonkey is one of my favorites. I call it Photoshop for beginners. It's very user-friendly. So a great tool to use because people love photos and images on social media. Let's talk about private groups on Facebook because they're super useful for group fitness instructors. I use them often with my group fitness groups. Private groups you have to be invited to go into the private group, and then once you're in the private group, nobody can see the posts besides the private group. So you can talk about things in that group, and only the people in that group see the posts. I use it for there's 3 or 4 of us group fitness instructors who have one private group for all of our quote-unquote tribe or peeps that come to class. And that's where we post what kind of equipment we're using in class that day, what's happening in class that day, who might be subbing our class. We answer questions. So it's our special little private group, and we love it. Perhaps you can see this one, ACE Personal Training 12-week program. You could use it maybe if you're doing a 28-day challenge or some sort of a training program with a group. And it's a place where everybody can see everything better than an email chain. So I'm a big fan of private groups. You are not limited to private groups. You can do as many as you want on Facebook, so it's a great feature. for businesses. All right, and for individuals, I should mention, individuals can use private groups too, I apologize. All right, last but not least, I really want to make sure, protect confidentiality. It's really important, again, back to those social media commandments, make sure you review those, but always respect confidentiality and intellectual property so you aren't stealing people's photos. Don't post photos or stories about class participants or clients without their consent. Do not copy someone's posts, photos to your media without sharing or tagging them. It's the cornerstone of social media. It's all about engagement and sharing. Don't steal people's written content and put on your own website. Just always make sure you're sharing. And don't screenshot someone else's work and post it to your social media. Those are just poor practices. And again, your brand is all about your behavior, the way you talk, the way you act. So those are all important things. And last but not least, make sure you connect with ACE on all these different platforms you can see right here so that you know what's happening at the American Council on Exercise and with the group fitness programs, and you can connect with other group fitness professionals. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this. I hope you learned a lot and look forward to potentially connecting with you out there on social media.